What's up, my name is Devon. In this video, I'm going to show you the fastest and easiest way for you to write a search engine optimized blog article and turn that into a social media post, basically giving you an endless content creating machine. Now, it's important to note before we jump into any of this that some of these processes are going to be automated. We're going to be leveraging AI a lot throughout this whole thing, but some of it is also going to be a little bit manual because you and only you know your business as well as you do, and only you know the people that you're trying to serve as well as you do, and it's important that you still have a little hand in making sure that what's being created is genuinely in service of the people that you're trying to reach. So, with all that out of the way, let's jump right in. First thing we're going to do is open up a tool called answerthepublic.com. Now, this is a really great starting point, and I'm going to give you another one right after this one, but basically what this tool is going to do is help you see what people are searching everywhere. So, in the search bar right here on the landing page, you can go ahead and just throw in a topic, a product, a brand, whatever you do, put it in here. For the example that we're going to be doing today, I'm going to use accounting. Make sure you set your language and your country that you're trying to reach, and then hit that submit button. Now, the free account gets you 3 daily searches for free. And if you sign up for the paid account, you'll be able to do much more than that, but this should give you a really great starting point if you're operating on a budget. So I personally like the list or tables view, so I'm just going to switch this over to the list. And as we scroll down, you're going to start to see all of the questions that people are asking as it relates to that topic that we put in. Now, the important thing here is that we're not just taking everything and throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping that it sticks. It's important to read through this list or these lists and look at all of the different questions that are being asked so that you can address what your audience is curious about. Because let's not forget, the whole reason we're writing these articles is so that you and your business show up where people are asking questions. Now, the alternative to this, if you don't want to use answerthepublic.com, is to go to Google itself and type in any of the questions that you think your prospects are asking. For this example, I'm going to start with, do accountants help with taxes? Once we start seeing the results, you'll see right here there's a section called People Also Ask, and you're going to see a list of 4 questions. If we open up one of these questions and then close it again, you'll see the list gets a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to do that with a couple of these questions. And now this is what Google is suggesting other people who ask this might be asking, and this might also be a great way for you to gather up some of the questions that the people that you're trying to reach are asking. Now, the whole idea here is to collect a bunch of keywords so that we can take that over to Google's keyword planner and do a little bit of a deeper dive into the search volume, the traffic, the competition, all the other metrics that are important when it comes to trying to rank for some of these topics. So for me, I like to use Google Drive to store all of my files and things that I'm doing, and inside of this folder that I'm using in this example, I'm just going to create a Google Doc so that I can start dumping some of these ideas into it. So I'll grab a few of these questions like, is it worth using a tax accountant? What are the biggest tax mistakes people make? How much should I expect to pay for an accountant? And then I'm also going to grab a couple from the answerthepublic.com results. When accounting year starts, why is accounting important in business, and then accounting and financial management. Now that we have some ideas, I'm just going to do a little bit of work here to fix this up, and I'm going to add a comma at the end of each one of these so that I can just copy this list here. And then we're going to jump over to Google's Keyword Planner. If you don't know where to find it, you can just type in Google Keyword Planner, and in the search results, look for the Google version. There are a lot of other keyword planners, but we're looking for the Google one specifically. Make sure that you're signed into your account. You can go ahead and click the Start Now button right in the middle there, and it's going to take you to a Google Ads account. If you don't already have one, go ahead and set one up. We're not actually going to use the Google Ads account today, but it helps to have the accounts so you can save some of these results for the future. Now, once you're logged in, we're going to look on the left-hand side here for the icon that says Tools, and then in the menu that pops up, we're just hovering here. We're going to click on Planning, and you see the first option here is Keyword Planner. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is discover some new keywords. So I'm going to click there, and you'll see right here now I have the option to paste in the keywords that I've just curated. But before I do, I'm just going to make sure that my language is set properly and the place that I'm trying to reach is in here. So if we just click on this right now, it's saying Canada. We can get rid of this and we can get hyper specific and say a city. Once you've selected your locations, hit the save button. And now we're just going to paste in all of those search terms and then hit get results. Now Google's going to look for all of the keywords that are related to the keywords that we just provided here. We can also broaden our search by adding a couple of these up at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and click accountant and then get results again. Now you'll see here we got a very long list of keywords. It's showing about 100 per page here, and there are 431 results. Now I'm not going to use all of these. Not all of them are going to be relevant. So what we're going to do is click the download keyword ideas, and I'm just going to select a CSV. That file is going to download here, and then I can come back to my Google Drive folder and I can just drag that in here so that it uploads. Then we'll double click on it and tell it to open with Google Sheets. So I'm going to do a couple of things to clean this up here. I don't need these first two headings, so I'm going to select them and delete those rows. And then there's a whole bunch of junk on the right hand side here that I don't need either, so I'm just going to highlight from G over. I'm going to right click and hit delete columns. Same thing with the currency here. I don't really need that. We're going to delete that column. So that gives us a much cleaner interface. Now if I double click on each one of these here, it'll automatically size each one of these rows to make sure that all of the information is there. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so that we know that this is the heading. Bold, change that background color. Now we're kind of working with something here. So you'll see there's all of these different results, all these different search volumes, and we have the competition. So these are the three things that we're looking for, is the search volume, the competition, and then the keyword itself. So let's organize this in a way that makes sense. I'm going to just select and highlight all of these rows by clicking and dragging. Then I'm going to come up to here where it says create a filter, this little funnel looking thing. And then what that's going to do is it's going to allow me now to sort these columns by a number of different criteria. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sort this from Z to A so that it goes from the largest number to the smallest number. And anything here that's kind of under 50, I don't really need. So I'm just going to highlight, right click, and delete those rows. So now we've narrowed this down a little bit more. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this competition here to sort from A to Z or Z to A, whatever works for you. And anything that says low competition, we're going to highlight all of that. And then I'm just going to change it green so that I know that it's different from everything else. And now we can sort here by the color. I'm going to say light green first. So these are the keywords right now that are high enough search volume that they're worth writing about, and they're low enough competition that they're higher likelihood to get your article ranked. So read through these, look for keywords that are actually going to be useful for you, things that you think might be in line with the types of searches that you want to serve for the people that are searching. And so a couple of things right off the bat here. I'm going to choose tax accountant, general ledger, maybe chartered accountant, do accounts payable, accounts receivable, accounting firm, chartered professional accountant. Then just to make this easier for myself, I'm just going to drag the ones that I like to the top here. Now we got a pretty solid list of keywords that we know have a high enough search volume and a low enough competition that is worth writing about. So what do we do with these keywords? I'm sure the ideas might be flowing in already, but if you're anything like me and they're not, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to select all of these right here. I'm going to copy those. I'm going to come over to my custom GPT here called the article topic generator. I'm going to link to this in the description of this video so that you can get access to it if you want to use this. And all we're going to do is just paste this list of keywords into here, and I'm going to hit enter to send that. And what this GPT is going to do is create 10 data-driven SEO optimized curiosity-evoking article titles for each of the keywords that I provided there. So you'll see it's organizing this now into a table showing the keywords and then some title suggestions for each of those keywords here as it goes through the entire list. There is a limit here. I think you can only do 10 at a time, but when you do 10, you're going to get 100 article ideas. So while that's writing, I'm going to jump back over here to my keyword research document, and I'm going to just create a new tab. And this tab I'm going to name article ideas. Rename this one while we're here. And if you want, you can rename the actual document up here. Now once it's finished generating all of those topics, let's just highlight all of them here. We're going to copy that, and then I'm going to come over here to our new articles idea tab, and I'm going to paste that in. Double click the sides here so that we can see everything. And then I'm going to add one more column here, and I'm going to call it done. Let's just resize this and make it look a little nicer so that we can distinguish between what's happening and what's not. And then in this whole entire row, I'm just going to select it here, and then I'm going to insert some checkboxes. We'll get rid of all of these. And then I'm going to highlight everything and create some conditional formatting so that we can see what we've done and what we haven't done. So for the range, we've selected it all there. And then for the format rules, we're going to select custom formula is, and then I'm going to go equals money sign C1 equals true. And then I'm going to make it italic, strike through. I'm going to just dim the color of that a little bit. And then we're going to make the background nothing. And then click done. And now you'll see here when we check these off, it's just going to strike it out so that we know that it's done. So now we have all of these keywords that we know have low competition and high enough search volume that it's worth writing about. And we have a whole bunch of title ideas and topics. So that means that we can move to the next phase, which is our proprietary AI blog writing tool. Now I'm gonna give you a link to this so that you get access to it. I have a free 30-day trial for you. If you wanna sign up, you can test it all out and see how well it works for you. And if you don't cancel in that first 30 days, it'll just be $20 a month for as long as you want to do it. And it's unlimited number of blog articles, unless you're an enterprise and you're doing thousands a day, then we might have to talk about what that looks like. But for everybody else who just needs to write blog articles to make sure that they're showing up on Google where their customers are searching, this tool is perfect for you. So you'll see once you get logged in that we have a few options here that we can paste in. So the first thing is our topic. So I'll come back here to our keyword. I'm just going to read through these topics and pick one that I like here. So this is top 5 signs you need a new accounting firm. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to paste it into my topics. Then we need this keyword here. So we'll jump back here, grab accounting firm as the keyword, throw that in there. And then you can select a word count that's appropriate for you. I like the 1,000 words. It seems to be the one that works best for me. And then in the avatar or persona, we can maybe say small businesses in Calgary. And then if you have any special instructions that you want to include in the article, for example, ask the reader to contact us for a free consultation. And then I'm going to paste in a link. And once you've filled out the entire form, you can click the generate blog article button at the bottom here and then watch it get to work. Now typically it only takes about 30 to 60 seconds to generate your article, so I'm just going to fast forward through this so you're not waiting for that. And there we are. We have our fully formatted blog article that you can just copy now. So you can click this copy button here, or you can highlight everything and hit Control-C or right-click copy. And then I'm going to come back to my Google Drive folder here. I'm going to create a new document, and then I'm just going to paste in the article. Now, something to note, the articles are not always going to be perfect. You may want to change a few things to suit your voice. You may want to add some additional formatting or change a couple of things. By all means, go ahead. But here's the thing. This article is already done for you, ready to go. All of the SEO stuff that you need to rank is already there. And I just want to show you one other thing here. We're just going to highlight this first little body of text. I'm going to open up Scriber's AI detector. We're going to paste in that first little bit of text here. I'm just going to show you when we detect AI, 0% of this text is likely AI. So now we don't have to worry about Google flagging our articles and ignoring us when we are trying to rank. Now, when you go to publish this, you're going to need a featured image. And if you don't want to use stock photography, you want to create something that is unique and genuine and true to you and your brand, I have another GPT here that I want to share with you. This is my featured image prompt generator, and all you have to do is paste in a URL if you already have that published, or you can paste in the article right here and then hit send. And then just give it a couple of seconds here, and it's going to generate 3 different prompts that you can use in an image generator to create a featured image that's best going to suit the article that you've written. So for this example, I'm going to grab the second one because I like that. I'm going to jump over to Google Gemini. I'm going to paste that prompt in there. Under Tools, I'm going to select Create Images, and then I'm going to hit Send. And it's generated a really great image here that we can use for our featured image. Now, depending on where and how you distribute your blog articles, you may want to adjust this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the full-size image. I'm going to jump over to Canva. If you haven't already, go ahead and log in, and then I'm going to hit the Create button. I'm going to create a custom size, and I'm going to select 1920 by 1080. For added bonus points, what you're going to want to do is come back to your blog article, grab the title, copy that, and name your image that as well. That's going to help Google understand the context of the image and how it belongs in the article. Then I'm just going to drag that Gemini image into here. I'll go ahead and resize it. And then once I'm happy with it, I'm going to hit the share button. I'm going to download that. And then I'm also going to do one extra thing here. And I'm just going to limit that file size to 1500 kilobytes. Then I'm going to click the download button and wait for that to download. And now I'm ready to distribute the article. So I can jump over to my website wherever I distribute my blog articles. For me, I use WordPress for all my clients. So I'm going to just log into this one here. I'm going to add a new post. And then we can just use this document here to copy the title, paste that in. And we can select the body of the article and then paste that in here. And then Because I'm using Yoast SEO tool, I can double check and make sure that all of the criteria to rank for search engine optimization has been met. So we're going to add the keyword that I was hoping to rank for with this article. And in this case, it's accounting firm. So we'll just paste that in there, let it do its check. And while it's doing its check, I'll change my categories, add a couple of tags here, and then we'll set our featured image. I can just drag in the image that I generated, set that as the featured image. And because I want to make sure that this article is fully optimized, I'm just going to do a couple of other things here to get my green smiley face for the Yoast SEO plugin. So I can shorten this a little bit. I'll shorten my title a little bit. I'll grab a short excerpt from the first paragraph. And you'll see with just a couple of small changes, we've already gotten that green check mark. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this article. Let's go take a look at what that looks like now that it's published. You'll see it's nicely formatted. It checks off all the boxes. We got a nice little table there, a couple of lists. So this article here will start to generate some traffic over time. But to give it a little bit of a head start, you might want to also publish this on social media. Now, instead of trying to copy and paste it a million times into all the different social media platforms, and then you have to write all the descriptions and all that other stuff, we also have a couple of really awesome tools that we like to leverage here. The first one being our CRM. In our CRM, we have a whole bunch of really cool stuff that we can do, including building funnels and managing pipelines and opportunities, a number of incredible automations, calendar management, contact management, and all the other things that you'd like to come along with a good CRM. But one of the really powerful tools here is our marketing tab. So I'm just going to click on that here, and you're going to see that we have a social media planner. So with this social media planner, we'll be able to schedule out posts, which allows us to create these types of articles in a batch format and then schedule it to be shared on social media on a frequent basis. So now it looks like you're active on social media and you're proving to Google that your stuff is being shared. Now I wanted to make this as easy as possible for you, so I have another GPT here that you can leverage. This is a post description writer, and this one is from an article link. So with this article here, we can just grab the URL, copy that, drop it into the chat here and hit enter. It's going to go read that article and then write us a really concise post description that we can use to share the article on our social media channels. You'll see that we also get the link included there. So I'm just going to highlight all of this. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to come back to our CRM. I'm going to hit new post, and you can do this from bulk using a CSV or a spreadsheet, or we're just going to do one at a time here, and we're going to create a new post. And the first thing we can do here is select which accounts that we want to post to. So this one has a Facebook and an Instagram, so I'm just going to select all. Then I'm going to paste my post description in here. You see it's going to automatically generate a link preview, but I want to make sure that Instagram has an image as well. So I'm also going to click this little image button right here, and then I'm going to upload the featured image that we created here just to match. And then if you'd like, you can change some of these other options here. You can invite additional collaborators, change it to a reel or a story, and you can customize for each channel. So if you want to put a different description for each one of the social media accounts that you're posting to, you can also do that. If I click the little down caret here, you can see that we can schedule this post for later, or if you have, somebody on your team who would like to preview the posts before they go out, you can set it here. And if you have recurring posts, so just to show you how this works, we're going to hit schedule post, and then we can pick tomorrow. And you'll see right here that it has generated a best time to post suggestion. So there's a couple of options. These analytics come from your actual social media accounts. So over time, if you've tested posting times, you'll start to see the most optimized time for posting here. So I'm just going to select this first one and then hit schedule post. You'll see that we got the notification the post was created successfully. And then if we come here, we can switch this to calendar view, and you can see that post is now scheduled. So let's say you didn't want it actually to be scheduled here. You can click on this, you can edit it if you'd like, or to make things easier, we can just click and drag this to a different day, and then it's just going to change that schedule for you that easily. And that's it. You're done. Your search engine optimized post is distributed and shared on all of your social media channels. Now, I'm going to try to put all of the links to all of the different tools that I used here in the description, so that if you need access to any of them, whether or not you're using our tools, you can still use some of the free stuff. If you want to get a full demo of this CRM tool, I'll put a link to my calendar where you can schedule that in. And if you have any questions, you can drop a comment below, and I will do my best to help you out in any way that I can. So that's it for this video. Thanks for sticking around all the way to the end. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope that this was helpful. If there's anything that I can do, reach out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.